Before we get into X Factor, can I just give you some win totals and you just tell me, just real quick. Dolphins 9.5, Jets 6, Jets over, most wagered over.
Similar, a lot of shades to the Bengals last year, right? A lot of similarities. Not a lot, a few, couple.
Second year quarterback,
You just drafted the wide receiver in the first round.
unproven head coach, suspect defense that has like the Jets defense. If it could make a leap to like
Middle of the pack.
15 to 19.
You get Lawson back, who was their big free agent, who they signed last year.
Yeah, who was a non-factor because he got hurt in camp. 3 first-round picks.
3 first-round picks.
Vera Tucker, I saw this like executives list that they put out. He's like one of the hottest commodities. Like because he's so versatile. Like in college, he started like
every position,
4 of the 5 positions. And now the biggest question mark is the second year leap with Wilson.
From the quarterback.
Yeah, which I started rewatching some Zach Wilson stuff, even prior to this whole thing that made him jump to QB1 for me. Yo, he did some dope shit last year, man. Especially when he came back from the injury. And you were like saying it too, but sometimes I do feel like you get a little happy eyes, googly eyes with the players. But you were right, man. You were definitely right. So you did prove me wrong on that one. Buffalo 11.5 wins, and then the Pats 8.5.
I think I want to go under on Pats.
Under on Pats, right?
Yeah.
Division odds, we have the Bills at minus 220. This is like consensus. I'm looking at a list of like nine different books. Minus 220, Pats plus 500, Dolphins plus 450, Jets 22-1.
I think you're right. I think it's Buffalo's division, but there's not much value there on that. Do you think -2?
It all depends. Do you think they should be a bigger favorite?
Maybe they lose an early game during the season and you take it week 3. I don't know. That's juiced.
Yeah.
But
the only other big favorite in all of football is Tampa Bay at minus 300. So the Bucs are the biggest favorite of all division like leaders going into next year.
Yeah.
All right. The biggest storyline to me is the combination of the 2 second-year quarterbacks in this division, Zach Wilson and Mac Jones. One, I think, has a higher ceiling than the other from a production and like skill set standpoint. Like I think Zach Wilson, he's the kind of quarterback I would gravitate to. I love a gunslinger. I don't give a damn about interceptions. I think interception stats are overrated. Don't turn the ball over inside your 20 or R20, right? So that you throw
Sometimes a pick is like a punt. Yeah. Better than a punt.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
If it's like 3rd and 18, you're trying to make a play. But I like the aggressiveness. I don't want Alex Smith. I don't want those kind of guys. I want a guy that's going to throw it at the sticks, try to pick up first downs, make plays. I can live with that. So that's how Zach Wilson is. Where Mac Jones strikes me as a guy who's a game manager. He's someone who, if he's playing with a lead, he's elite. If he's down 10 points, cash that ticket, and he ain't coming back. And there were a lot of examples last year where whenever they fell behind, game was a wrap.
Yeah, they beat the Bills in the wind.
Yeah, and it was totally just game managed the whole time. What do you throw? 3 passes it was? It was like a high school football. It was like I was playing at Bryant.
Yeah, wing T.
So shout out to the wing T. So to me, the leap of the second-year quarterback, because, it's wild how for the longest time the Bills were the team searching for a guy, and now they found one. And it seems like all the other teams are kind of searching for a guy long-term.
Yeah, that's fair. Although no love for T-Mobile, though?
Nah. T-Mobile was there for, 3 years? Definitely broke the drought, so congrats to him.
He'll be your starting quarterback soon.
He will. Yeah, shouts to T-Mobile.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the division's in interesting hands. I love Zach Wilson. He made steps that second half of the season. But I still think there's value to what Mac Jones provides, and I think he'll only get better. He looks skinny, Mac Jones.
I saw that.
He's in better shape, or I don't know. I hate using like a visual to dictate whether whether someone's in shape or not. because a lot of that's internal as well. But I'm just the Patriots really blew their load last offseason.
Excuse me?
Right?
Yeah, they did spend a lot of money.
And like
they didn't really get anyone crazy. Yeah, didn't they have the same kind of offseason like the Jaguars did this year? Like I remember last year the only addition I liked was like Judon.
Who was like one of Hunter Henry played well last year.
Yeah, but
I mean, the problem was the two tight ends. It was also
you brought in two. And then it was like, what's his name? not Aguilar.
Yeah, Aguilar.
Yeah, Aguilar. Yeah,
gave a lot of money to Aguilar too.
And it was just like a lot of additions where they were solid pieces,
kind of mid moves.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like what the Jaguars did.
Yeah.
So that to me is the biggest storyline. What you got?
I mean, to me, I mentioned it, but it's this. Brady almost was the quarterback of the Dolphins. Imagine in division you get to play the Patriots twice. Sean Payton, Brady, Miami. Imagine he's going from Tampa to Miami too. Like there was just so many interesting tidbits of that whole thing. And then Brian Flores suing, literally changed everything, put it on his face. Brady retires, unretires, goes back to Tampa. Doesn't want your boy, Bruce Arians, to be the coach. He steps down. I'm unretired. The whole Brady to Miami saga was really interesting. And although he's not in the division right now, that was fascinating to me. And I'm sure he may be there in a year or two. Like I wouldn't be surprised if that were to happen. But it's the Brady to Miami that never happened.
Brady to Miami that never happened. Yeah, no, that's definitely fair, dude. I think it's definitely interesting to see how that plays out because this isn't like a lot of times. And I know I'm kind of giving it away, and obviously I'm going to talk about my favorite team, but I love what the Giants did this offseason. But I don't think it's going to translate to anything this year. But some of these moves could set up teams for next year and the year after. So, like, if the Jets hit on all these draft picks and you parlay the two last draft classes, you're looking at the Jets next year like, oh, shit, watch out. You just want to see them making the right steps in that direction.
And the funny thing is, just like with the Dolphins, is like everything out of the Tyreek Hill podcast, all of the media reports, as everyone's hyping Tua up and he looks great, Tua looks great. But it's like, all of the concrete reporting suggested that they didn't want him to be the quarterback. So, like, it's funny to have to, like, to be in his shoes. Not funny. It's unique to have to be in his shoes. Granted, it's Tom Brady. I don't think anyone would take it personal if the franchise wanted to replace you with Tom Brady. You know what I mean? So, that's another way to think about it. But, I don't know. Tua's my X factor.
Really? Okay.
I think if he plays well, they definitely make the playoffs.
That's fair.
Because the secondary is very good. I'd say elite.
Yeah.
Good pass rush, elite secondary, the fastest offense in the league. If Tua, could put it together, I that's a playoff team.
Can I read you their schedule?
Yeah.
And we could play the whole, like,
win, loss,
just to see how you feel. So, open up home New England, at Baltimore, home Buffalo, at Bengals, at Jets.
3-2.
That is optimistic, 3-2.
How many? Which were the tough games? Which of the games are in Miami?
New England, Buffalo, at home, and then you go at Baltimore, at Bengals, at Jets.
They'll beat the Jets. I mean, it's not a guarantee.
Yeah.
But.
Then you got Minnesota, Pittsburgh at home, at Detroit, at Chicago, home Cleveland.
Cleveland will not be the same team. They're going to be playing with a backup. I mean, they played with a backup last year, too.
I mean, it depends what happens with Watson, right?
Like what game of the season is that?
That's game 10. So if he gets an 8-game suspension.
What if he gets there's reports he may get a year.
I mean, the year would be what I would expect him to get.
Yeah, so for me, Cleveland,
You've also heard from like 2 games to a whole season. Like
Yeah.
that whole shit is it's chaos. After Cleveland is a bye, then you got home Houston, at San Fran, at the Chargers, at Buffalo. 3 straight road games. I wonder if one of them is no, it's not. I was wondering if it was like one of those like weird London games. And then they play Green Bay at home, at New England, home to the Jets.
Damn.
It's kind of a weird schedule, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it all depends on how you're factoring these teams also going into next year. So I like that though with Tua. I think that's pretty fair to say he's definitely an X factor because if he's successful and has a good year, that means that the Dolphins are probably going to play really well and then surprise some people. Yo, I got an X factor for you, and I'm pissed because you're in my fantasy league, bro. We bringing back the league.
Okay.
I think this dude can win Rookie of the Year.
The running back on the Bills, Cook.
James Cook.
Dalvin's brother.
Dalvin's younger brother, coming out of Georgia. His odds to be Rookie of the Year are 14-1. I think he's the starter by week 6. Devin Singletary, Zach Moss, cool.
But they drafted him for a reason.
Yeah. And I think that the Buffalo offense, now with Gabe Davis becoming a number 2, and I mean, shit, the last time we saw him, he
200 yards.
and 4 touchdowns on the Chiefs. You still got Stephon Diggs there. You also, how about this? Bring in Manny Sanders, bro.
Yeah.
Look at the last couple quarterbacks he's played with. Not exactly elite.
Yeah.
Now you got Josh Allen, and you're not asked to do a lot. You're the number 3 option, maybe even number 4 with the Dawson-Knox relationship, too. Dude, James Cook, I'm taking him in all my dynasty leagues. Even though I don't play dynasty, I'm just using that as an expression. I think he is a guy I'm taking high in drafts, and I'm going to have a league winner kind of guy. The only downside is that Josh Allen inside the red zone takes the touchdowns.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about like the impact he's going to have on this offense. James Cook, 14-1 Rookie of the Year. I was telling you, let's have some bets too. Like, could be some long shots, some wild ones. That's one of my favorite borderline long shot, nice juicy odds. He was 50-1 after the draft.
Do you have the numbers in front of you?
Yeah, give me a player.
Where's Brees Hall?
8-1. So better odds than James Cook.
Yeah. I mean,
Garrett Wilson 9-1.
I know the Jets are gonna want to run that rock. They took him at the top of the second round. Everyone had him as a first round running back. I was surprised they took him because a lot of Jeff fans, we love Michael Carter, man. But I think it's clear he's not an every down back.
I'm aware in the group chat. It was a 1-on-9 ambush in that group chat where you guys were telling me they have great weapons. I'm like, yo, they don't even have a running back. You guys were telling me Michael Carter was LT. I was like, yo, you just drafted a guy in the second round. He's clearly not the running back.
Yeah, but now it's cool. Two-headed monster.
It's not like we talk about this all the time. Like, how many
Bell cows are there?
25 carry running backs are there? There's not a lot, bro. Like, I even think Minnesota, if they should run 2 running backs. How many times does Madison step in and it's like, yo,
12-yard run.
Yeah,
20. Oh, yeah.
Because Dalvin Cook misses like a game or 2 every year, and he comes in and it's like 100 yards. So it's weird. You kind of do need 2 running backs. So yeah, it's not the worst thing. It was just funny because of our discussion.
Who else is up there?
So the favorite is Kenny Pickett, Drake London, Traylon Burks, your boy Hall, Christian Watson, Garrett Wilson, Kenneth Walker III, Chris Olave, Sky Moore. Then you have 4 players at 14-1. Jameson Williams with the Lions, James Cook, Desmond Ridder, and Jahan Dotson.
If the thing about Jameson is the injury, right? Is he gonna?
He got hurt in like January, so he's probably gonna.
They may ease him in.
He's easily a pup guy. You got any bets for this division that you like?
Give me yours first.
So one of them was, I have like I don't want to call it a sure thing, but I like James Cook 14-1 for Rookie of the Year. I think that's a little enticing. I like Buffalo to win the division, parlayed with the Pats to miss the playoffs. Could get you plus 215 there, Ib. You know you get a little switched on when you see a plus number.
I don't. You do.
I do, yeah. If he is the king of 8-legged parlays, or minus 102.
You just take like, two, you just take like 4 minus 300 favor. Like, oh, here's plus money. You need to hit 4 fucking bets. I like the Dolphins to make the playoffs. Now, but the thing is though, now that we've kind of dug into I just hate doing this at this point. I would much rather give a pick.
Well, these aren't the official picks.
Yeah.
It's just like sometimes you want to try to get in on these bets early. Like, this is the time of year where I prefer player props to be wagered on as opposed to team props. Because player props, it could be the report where, Justin Herbert lights it up in practice and he looks the best. How many times you get that report where, this is the best shape this running back's in? Yeah. This is the best training camp he's had. So player props tend to move more than like team props.
I would say if you could get the Bills at something better than like minus 200, I would probably do that. I just think like anything after minus 200, you maybe wait. Can you tell me what the Bills schedule is? Actually, I could look it up.
Yeah, you pull that up while I do that.
Because depending on who they play early on, I don't know how much it would swing the number.
Yo, can I give you another one I think is interesting?
Damn, Bills-Rams season opener and then Titans.
Yeah.
Maybe if they go 1-2, maybe the more I think about that number though, if you can get them minus 180, minus 170 after a loss or whatever it is, that's something that I would think about, but maybe wait a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Buffalo to win the division, unless something tragic
with
happens
Josh
to Josh Allen. There's no way that team doesn't win 11 games. Especially now you have what bet I think is interesting? Plus 450. The Bills to have the best record in football.
Think
about it. If you're Buffalo going into this year, they might have been the best team I saw last year, bro.
They were like 7 seconds away from making it to the...
Yeah, 13 seconds before the Butker field goal, right? If you're Buffalo, you're saying to yourself, yo, we can't lose that game to the Jaguars. We can't lay that egg to Pittsburgh at home week 1. Remember I was on that plus 280 Pittsburgh? That was the narrative bet. Coming into the year, I was like, Pittsburgh's going to be trash. They blow, and Buffalo's going to the Super Bowl. And I was like, week 1, like, you're hammering that, right? I think this year, if you're Buffalo going into the season, you get the running back, you get another weapon, your defense, you're going to have Tre'Davious White back, too, which... Remember talking about in the playoffs how like Tyreek Hill would get shut down against them, and then Tyreek Hill went wild in that playoff game. If you're Buffalo, your thinking is, let's try to get this in Bills Mafia. Make everybody have to come to Buffalo in January.
And that plays to their advantage with the big physical quarterback.
Bro. And think about the teams in the AFC that would have to go there.
It's funny that now that, man.
Miami, the Chargers, I have a hard on for the Chargers, but can you imagine Herbert and them going in there in January?
Yeah.
Minus 12 degrees.
LA team.
It's clip for that. Burn that ticket early.
Yeah.
So I think if you're Buffalo, plus 450 to have the best record in football, I think that is very juicy.
I like it.
We'll do more next month, we'll do like our official picks, but these are something to,
to noodle on.
Just a heads up, everything I mentioned, like I throw a little 20-piece, 25, nothing too crazy. The bigger bets happen around like Labor Day weekend.
It's tough to take anything right now. I think, unfortunately, a little injury here or there. Granted, some of these bigger name guys probably aren't going to play as much, but what's your take? Would you put in a bet right now? I mean, obviously, if the value's there, you're doing it, or would you wait?
I wait until I get the schedule.
No, but I'm saying, so don't we have the schedule now for the NFL?
Yeah. I try my best to get a read on like what the reports are. Like things do shift in one direction. If like a team, say there's a personality on social media or like Louis Riddick goes on and he says, like he's on Trey Lance to win MVP. Trey Lance was 100-1, 60-1. Now he's like 30-1.
Same as Rashawn Gary for Defensive Player of the Year on the Packers. Started 100-1. Someone put $1,000. Pays out a lot of money.
Yeah.
It moved to 75-1. Now it's 60-1.
So, like, things like that, I try to either get in on it early or just not take it at all. Like, eventually it just gets too out of control. I'm like, fuck, man, I didn't like...
I guess my question is, are you going to gain any value between now and right when the season starts?
It's probably going to stay the same.
So, that, to me, that doesn't... Then it's like, wait until right before the season so you don't have to worry about any injuries in camp and preseason. That's just the way that I see it.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure, though, some books, they void your bet if your player gets hurt.
Okay, but
Like
if you're taking a team...
And if you're taking a team, yeah. But that's also the chance that you take, too. You won't see anything jump too like, much.
I guess what I'm saying is, like, the Jets, if you want to take an over-under on the Jets, or even the Bills, for that matter, if you don't think the numbers are going to move that much, just wait until you get out of training camp, you get out of all of these opportunities where one of these guys could get hurt, and then you place the bet.
A little counter to that, though. What happens if you wait, and then week 1 they go down? Like, what makes that bet any better?
I see what you're saying, but yeah.
I've always thought about that, too, because I'm like, damn, I don't want to put this bet in August, and then he gets hurt in the preseason. And then the counter to that is like, yo, he could get hurt week 1. Tom Brady, 2008, game 1, blows out his knee. So if you were a Pats futures holder, does that make you feel any better that he got hurt week 1 as opposed to like end of August? So, look, I'm more on your side of the thinking too. Like, I'd rather wait to do it like after the preseason. I mean, we do our big fantasy league after the last preseason game. So I'm with you on that. I was just trying to be an asshole.
But you're right. You're right.
Thinking about it, because to me, like, it's the same counter with like, yo, why are we having our draft now in the middle of August? What happens if they get hurt in the preseason? Well, what happens if your number 1 pick gets hurt in the first game?
Yeah, but that's different in the sense of, for fantasy football purposes, even if a guy gets hurt week 8, you may have rode him for the first 7 weeks.
Yeah, you might have his backup. So yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Like, he provided you value in the weeks before. You're right in the sense of like a futures NFL bet or on a player MVP, whatever it is, offensive players, whatever it is. But for fantasy football, you're getting value for the guy.
Let's wrap this one up. We'll talk some NFC East on the next one. You'll be able to hear the next one on the Patreon if you are a Patreon member. So check that out, patreon.com/veteransminimum. That episode is going to be up at the time that you're hearing this one. So if you want to get MP and I back to back, we talk a little bit of the NFC East, brother.
Your division.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Veteransminimum.com. You could find some merch. New merch is on there, too. We got some summer hats. Would be nice if you guys could go and check those out. And if you buy anything from the shop, or if you become a Patreon member, just tag us. Tag us that you're listening to the show. Tell Impy his take is trash or his take is awesome, and then say the same to me. And yeah, we'll just repost it. We need to start putting an emphasis on you guys helping us grow. And we only grow because you guys listen and tag us. So veteransminimum.com, you find everything you need to find on there. At Nick Day is 10 as you can find me. And MP?
IMPY718 on Twitter. Anthony E. Impastato on Instagram.